Greetings to you, my beloved learners. How are you this evening? Once again, I've come with a question in mathematics, paper 1. Okay, so let us go through the question and see how we can answer. And this question was particularly brought in paper 1, past paper 2002. Okay, so now let us quickly go through and see how we are going to work out. Find the equation of a straight line which is perpendicular to the line 2y minus x is equals to 3 and passing through the point open bracket -4, 1 close bracket. Okay, so very interesting. When you are given that type of question, where you are asked to find the equation, there are some important items that you're supposed to know before you come to actual calculation. Okay, so what do I mean? What are those items? First of all, you should make sure that the gradient is made available and also the coordinates. You should look at these two things, very important. Okay, so now, how are we going to identify that? You get back to the question and see if at all you are given the gradient and also the coordinates. So if we get back to the question that we have, here we have the equation itself, which is perpendicular to the one that we want to find, and the coordinates. Are we given the gradient there? No. So first thing that we are going to do is to calculate for gradient. Then, since the coordinates we are given, then we will proceed with the finding the equation. Okay, now, when you are given an equation like this one, how do we find the gradient? So, the way you can find the gradient, you are going to get the same equation that you are given, okay, and write it in a intercept point form. So we have the equation of a straight line, which is y is equals to x plus c. So you are going to write this equation in this form, where you are going to make y to be the subject of the formula, because that is how the equation of a straight line is always written. So how are we going to arrive at this stage using the same equation that we have? So we are going to say 2y minus x equals 3. So since we want to make y the subject of the formula, we are going to say 2y is equals to this x will cross an equal sign and it will become a what? A positive, because here it is a negative x. So you are going to write x here, then plus 3, because this 3 is a positive and it is just there. It hasn't crossed any equal sign. Okay? So the only term that has crossed is the negative x. No wonder why it has become a positive x. Now from there, since you want to remain with y, so we are going to say divide by 2 throughout, even here 2, even here 2. Okay? That is what you are going to do. Then we cancel. Oh, we are here. We cancel. Then we are going to remain with y is equals to 1 over 2x plus 3 over 2. So now from there, it is very easy for you to get the gradient, because that is the one we are looking for. How? You just get now the coefficient of x that will be your gradient. This is what it means even here. M, this m is the gradient. So in this case, the gradient is, we are going to say m is equals to 1 over 2. That what is the gradient? Now remember, the gradient that you have just found is for the equation that you are given. Now when we get back to the question here, it says, find the equation of a straight line which is perpendicular to the line, this one. So this equation is perpendicular, okay? The one that you are looking for is perpendicular to this equation which we have. Now, for us to find now the perpendicular gradient, it means we are going to name this one as the gradient 1. Okay, so this one will be gradient 1. So there is a formula that we use when finding the gradient of a perpendicular line. So this equation is like this: m1, m2 is equals to -1. So it means this m1 is the one that we have found in this equation. Now the gradient of the perpendicular line is m2. So it is the one that you are going to look to find, or rather to solve for. So we are going to say, since here we have 1 over 2, then here we have m. We are substituting where there is m1, we put 1 over 2. Then m2 is equals to -1. So what do you do for us to remain with m2a? It means we are going to divide by 1 over 2 both sides. So we are going to say over 1 over 2, even this side 1 over 2. Okay? This will cancel. Then you remain with m2 equals, when we simplify this, we are going to say -1. Since this is a division sign, divide by 1 over 2. So this one also, we are going to say over 1, so that it can also be in a fraction form. So equals 1 over 1. Remember, we have a negative there. Then times, that is the rule which is there. We learned this in grade 5. Okay? When we are simplifying or evaluating the fractions where we have a division in between as an operating sign. So we have to, this one will change to what? 2 times. And once it changes, this one also reciprocate. It means now we are going to reciprocate this one. The denominator will be on top, then the numerator down there. Then remember, this one has got a negative. So -1 times 2, the answer will be -2. Over 1 times 1, it's 1. Okay? Then 1 into -2, the answer will be -2. Therefore, this will be the gradient of the perpendicular line, the line which is perpendicular to this equation. Now that we have gradient in place, it is very easy for us now to do what? To find the equation, because the coordinates are already there. So now, we have got 2 methods or formulas that you can use to calculate, or rather to find the equation. So we have the gradient point form and gradient intercept form. So it's up to you now to choose. So let me teach you the one which is very simple. This one is simple. So we are going to say y minus y1 equals m, which is the gradient, open bracket, x minus x1. Okay? That is the formula, which is very simpler than the other. This one, we call it gradient point form. So now you are going to substitute, okay? Since you have everything. So when it comes to coordinates, you are just going to substitute where there is 1, 1, like y1, then x1. That is where we are going to substitute. So we are going to say y minus y1. 1, 1 here is what? Is 1. Okay? So you put 1 here. Then equals gradient you have found is negative what? -2. So you are going to say -2. Open bracket, you write x. Then x1 we have negative what? -4. So remember, this negative is the operating sign. So it will still maintain. Then negative what? -4. So from there now we can simplify further. Y minus 1 equals -2. Let us simplify what is in the bracket. X. Then when we multiply, I want to get rid of this bracket which is inside. So negative times negative there to be positive now, positive 4. Then from there, y minus 1 equals, you are going to multiply. Negative 2 times x, the answer is negative 2x. Okay? Negative 2 times positive 4, the answer will be negative 8. Okay? Then from there, you correct now the right terms. Y is equals to negative 2x minus 8, then plus 1. Because this one, when it goes to the other side, it will be a 1. Then from there, you are going to say y equals negative 2x, then negative 8 plus 1, the answer is negative 7. Hence the equation. So this is the equation which was perpendicular to the equation that we have on the chalkboard. Okay, thank you so very much for your attention and your cooperation.